Well, alright everybody, Apple did exactly what I thought they were going to do, and on the eve of CES, to steal the thunder of all the hundreds of companies that are out in Vegas, they announced their Vision Pro via press release. So in this video, I want to walk through everything that we know about the Vision Pro and then everything to expect, what's in the box, when the release date is going to be, when to pre-order it, and everything in between. Let's get right into it, and I'm extremely excited. Let's go. Alright, so this isn't going to be an expectations in terms of features and what to expect from an actual experience standpoint, because obviously I haven't had my hands on it, but our very own Chance Miller did get some hands-on sample time and demo time with it during WWDC in the middle of last year, and he did mention earlier today that if the Vision Pro is anything like the demo that he received in the middle of last year, then it's worth every single penny of that $3,500 price point. But now let's get into everything that Apple gave us with that press release, because it was a big one, and like I mentioned, Apple is doing this right before CES starts, which is supposed to be January 9th, and Apple knew exactly what they were doing because they wanted to take all the thunder and all the eyeballs away from CES and put it all to the Vision Pro and to Apple, which is a very smart move. So in the press release, it does state that February 2nd is the release date for the Vision Pro, and it does say in US Apple Store locations. So if you are aware, this is going to be a US only launch to begin with. So if you aren't in the US, unfortunately, you will not be able to get your hands on it. But I know that there are plenty of people that are booking their tickets to fly over to actually pick one of these up outside of the US, which is absolutely unreal. And you can start the pre-order process on January 19th at 5 a.m. PST or 8 a.m. Eastern time. So the pre-order process should be very similar to any other pre-order, whether it is a MacBook or an iPhone. But the thing that we're going to see is you might have to actually go physically into store. Apple hasn't mentioned anything in that press release of what that process is going to be like, but we do have a video which I'll link down below if you guys want to check it out of what we think that process is going to be like, because at $3,500 and with something that is so customizable and so full of variables like your eyesight and your vision, there is going to be some sort of setup or kind of fitment or calibration process in the Apple Store, so Apple knows they're going to get the best experience possible when you do actually start using it at home. One other thing that I did want to bring up in terms of how Apple actually announced this during their press release is that they did break this down in the experience section into multiple parts. And what I'd like to point out with this Vision Pro and why it's going to be a little bit different than everything else we've seen in the AR VR world is that the AR VR competition that we've seen so far is very focused on like content consumption and social connection, right? So like think of the Meta Quest and playing games on there, or things like PlayStation being able to do the PlayStation VR. Those are very game intensive, and that's what kind of like the draw is supposed to be like. Versus here with the Vision Pro, again, it's a $3,500 computer on your face, and that's what Apple is pushing, right? This is a computer first and a productivity machine first. Like Apple is stating in the press release that this is an infinite canvas for productivity. So Apple is going with the productivity angle first because, again, like I keep mentioning, this has an M2 chip built into it. So this is a full-on computer on your face that will work with things like your Magic Keyboard and your Magic Trackpad and your Magic Mouse. So I think the idea is to actually replace everything that you have with just this headset with some auxiliary devices like the keyboard, because you still want to have physical keys when typing, but maybe you can have 6 to 8 to 10 different kind of virtual monitors kind of floating in the air with different applications, because this is supposed to work with things like Jigspace, Microsoft 365, Slack, and some other productivity-centric applications. So it should be more of a productivity device first, and then it'll trickle down into that content consumption and entertainment piece. So I think that's what Apple's really pushing forward, that yes, this is an innovative device, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be a great piece of hardware and machinery, but it's going to be a computer at the end of the day, just in a different form factor. And when it comes to the entertainment piece of the Vision Pro, Apple did mention in their newsroom or their press release that Apple TV will have 150 titles ready to go that you can actually view in 3D. Now, what that means exactly, I don't know if it means 3D kind of that is actually coming to your face in terms of the content kind of reaching out to you, or if it's kind of like a 3D environment where you kind of have like a fake 3D TV that you're able to watch that content on. That still remains yet to be seen, but I'm very excited to get my hands on it. And Apple kept mentioning that with the Vision Pro, you are getting 2 4K kind of TVs for each eyeball, which is kind of absurd in that small form factor. And then they also have a section in the press release for gaming, and they will have up to 250 games ready to go in Apple Arcade, like NBA 2K. So another thing that I'm very excited to try, and then I'm also curious to know, which it should work with, but I'm curious to know if it will work with the Xbox and the PlayStation and the MFI controllers to maybe be able to play an Apple Arcade game like 2K in 100 inches virtually on the Vision Pro itself, which I think is going to be very cool. And then before we get into the actual contents of what you get in the box, like physically, I do want to bring on one more thing called the persona. So Apple has a whole section talking about bringing spatial to FaceTime. So basically, almost bringing maybe like a holographic type, maybe like a 3D render version of yourself for the actual Vision Pro. So basically what happens is the Vision Pro will scan your face, maybe your torso and things like that, and then create a persona, which is a very lifelike version of you, but a virtual version of you that then you can use in these virtual reality spaces like FaceTime, and it will work with third-party applications like Zoom from the get-go. So being able to have that persona and being able to have kind of this virtual version of you is going to be very cool to see, but I'm also curious to know how that ends up working out. Is it going to look a little too fake? Is it going to look a little maybe too cyberpunky, for lack of a better term? That remains yet to be seen, but I'm very excited to get my hands on it and try all these new features. And then Apple did have a small section at the bottom to let you know exactly what you get in the box, because it is a $3,500 piece of hardware that you should be getting a good amount of stuff. So the actual Vision Pro obviously comes with it, and that's going to come with 256 gigs of onboard storage. Now, we still aren't aware if that is customizable. Like, can you go on the website and spend a little bit more to get 512 or a terabyte or 2 terabytes? We still don't know yet, but I do believe Apple's going to keep it at 256 because aside from maybe the applications themselves, I don't see a reason why Apple would have a lot of onboard storage, because this thing will be kind of pulling from the cloud and everything will be stored in iCloud, in my opinion. But let's see what Apple does with that 256 gigs of storage and if they let us upgrade it at all. And then when it comes to the actual contents of the box, you get the solo nip band and a dual loop band. So basically the band that goes around your head. So there's 2 versions of it, I believe, or maybe 2 different types of ways that you can wear the band, which is just with the band across the back of your head. But then also there's a second version where you can get another strap going above your head for that extra support. So that's something to consider. You also get a light seal and 2 light seal cushions, which I think is that piece that goes right behind the lens itself to actually kind of block all light coming into the Vision Pro. So that is coming in the box, and you get 2 of those. You get a Vision Pro cover, which I think is going to be some sort of carrying case, kind of like you got with the AirPods Max, which hopefully it isn't as weird looking as the AirPods Max. You also get the battery itself, which is going to give you 2 hours of battery life on the go, a USB-C to USB-C cable in the box, and for $3,500, we are getting a USB-C charging brick in the box. Now, we don't know if it is a 30-watt adapter or a 60-watt or what they're going to give us, but you do get a charger in the box, which is a good thing to see. And then finally, you get the $20 polishing cloth in the box itself as well. So Apple's throwing everything in this box because $3,500, you should be getting a lot. And similarly to the first gen iPhone, if you guys remember, the first iPhone that came out got so many things in the box that was awesome. It had like the iPhone stand, the headphones themselves, of course, the cable, whatever you needed, the charging brick, it had everything you needed. And it even brought a polishing cloth, I believe. Not the same one we got right now, but a polishing cloth nonetheless. So to close off this video, all you need to know is that this Vision Pro is going to be just US based. It's going to release on February 2nd. You can pre-order it January 19th at 5 a.m. PST, and it's going to be $3,500. So for those people that do want to get their hands on it, Apple's supposed to be making 400,000 of these, but again, that's just speculation of what we've heard. Apple could have like 10 million of these ready to go, or they can just have like 1,000 of them ready to go. So that's something we'll just have to find out on release day or on pre-order day. I'm definitely going to pick one up, and leave some comments down below about what you want to see with this Vision Pro. What do you want us to talk about? What kind of experiences should we kind of look into? Do you want to see a vlog of the actual fitting and calibration experience? Because we could create a little vlog situation where we pre-order it and then go into the store and get it all fitted and ready to go, and then bring it home and finally turn it on and test it out. Those are all things that I'm planning on doing. So leave anything that you want to know about the Vision Pro down in the comments down below. And if you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And if you guys want to watch some more iOS, iPadOS, or macOS videos, maybe some visionOS videos in the future, click on one of these videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Peace. Just like Apple to steal CES and thousands of companies' thunder with just one press release.